Hi everyone, welcome to the solution to reach your ideal weight. My name is Travis Edwards. I am the founder of transformingselfforever.com and author of the book, The Secret to Success in Diet and Exercise. My guest, her name is Monique Bartlett, and she has a wonderful hangout plan for you today. Before we go into that, I just want to mention that this is a live hangout. We have a questions. You can ask questions. We wanted to make it interactive. We want you to participate on this hangout, and I think that's about it. So just to introduce my guest, her name is Monique Bartlett. I met Monique in 2010, roughly at a seminar, and I was like, yeah, she's a pretty fit lady, but um, but I didn't know what she did to get to her obviously get to her, to get to that fitness level. And yeah, she didn't tell them what your book is about. And
Absolutely. So hi everybody, as Travis said, my name is Monique Bartlett and I'm the author of Kickstart for Weight Loss: 3 Massive Mistakes Professional Women Make That Keep Them Overweight, Exhausted, and Stuck on the Diet Treadmill. So today's webinar is actually called The Solution to Reach Your Ideal Weight, and I'm just want to kind of tell a little bit about my story so you know a little bit about me and where I'm from. So give me 1 second here because there's something that I need to share with you. All right, perfect. So the question is, you're here tonight, but why should you listen to me? Well, growing up, I was overweight. You can see from my picture here, I was a fairly large girl. So I was the largest of all of my friends. I was a large teenager. I was a large young adult. I went away to university and I gained what they call the freshman 15. So that's those 15 to 20 extra pounds that you get from eating at the school's cafeteria, drinking alcohol, all those things that first-year university students do. I finished university, I came home, I bought a condo in Toronto, and they had a gym in the basement, and they had just introduced a Pilates class, and I had never done Pilates before, and I wanted to try it. So I went to the class. On my first day of the class, the instructor said to me, "Oh, are you pregnant?" And I was mortified because I wasn't. So that was my big aha moment. And I realized that I needed to do something so that the next person I met wouldn't think that I am pregnant. So I lost 30 pounds, and after I lost the 30 pounds is really when I started to exercise. And I was going to the gym, and women would come up to me all the time saying, "Oh, how did you get such great arms and your back?" And I'm like, there are a lot of women out there who don't know what to do to get into shape, and I know that I can help them. So I became a personal trainer. I had my own personal training business until I was injured in a car accident about 2 years ago, and I wasn't even able to exercise myself for a good 8 months. So of course, if that happens to you, you become a little bit depressed, you start to gain a little bit of weight, but I still knew that I wanted to help professional women get their life and their shape back as well. So I wrote my book. And I also am now an NLP coach and hypnosis trainer, and these are the tools that I use to help these women get the life that they want. So you're probably saying, what's in it for me? By the end of this presentation, you're going to learn how your lifestyle dictates your weight, why you should eat more. I know it kind of sounds weird, but yes, you should eat more. Why you need to lift weights, and yes, you do need to lift weights. And why you need to change your belief system. So I also want to let you know that if you stay until the end of the presentation, that you will be receiving a free gift. And if you have not received the handout that goes with this presentation, you can go and get it, I think, from the link that you were given to come to this hangout. So go back and get it for sure.
it's on the Facebook event page, and for anybody that doesn't have it, I can send them an email. We can talk about that towards the end of the presentation as well.
Okay, awesome. Or I don't know if you can put like the link in the chat box or something like that. So
I can try.
Yeah, okay. So perfect. All right, so first things first, you need to eat for your lifestyle. Two of the biggest obstacles that most people have when they're trying to reach their ideal weight is their tendency to cheat and their love of food. And I have to say that I am actually guilty of both of those because I love my sweets, don't get me wrong. Chocolate is my favorite thing, and I don't deprive myself. So, but it's an obstacle to try and overcome if you're trying to stay at a certain weight or keep a certain look. So the thing that you need to realize is that if you're active, you actually need to eat more protein and, believe it or not, more carbs. You need the protein to help you build your lean muscle mass, and you also need the carbs to help you increase your energy, because if you're going to work out more, you're going to need the carbs for the energy. Now, if you're less active, you're still going to need the protein, but you're going to want to have less carbs, because those extra carbs that you're having, if you don't use them with exercise, those are what will actually turn into fat, and that's not what you want. People seem to think that carbs are bad. Carbs are actually not bad. You need your carbs to survive. It's just the type of carbs. So you have to do things like, instead of eating white rice, have brown rice. Have sweet potatoes. So change up the types of carbs that you're having to get the most benefit out of them. It's also really important to realize that you cannot compare yourself to others, because even though I would love to look like, oh, I don't know, Heidi Klum, let's say, my genetics will not let me have the same body type as Heidi Klum. So no matter how much I wish for it, no matter how much I try for it, my body will never look like that, because I actually have hips and a butt, and that's just the way that it goes in my family. So I have to learn to live with that and be comfortable with that and be happy with the shape that I can get from the results, from the work that I'm putting in. So really, when I say that you need to eat more, you need to eat 5 to 6 times a day. So that means eating every 3 to 4 hours, with 3 average size meals and 2 smaller meals. This is going to help to stabilize your blood sugar. It's going to control your appetite, increase your metabolism, and help to keep your energy up. And the real thing is, it's also going to help you to feel full longer. So you're not going to want to binge eat and have those things that you really shouldn't be eating. I always recommend keeping a food journal. And I know that some of you out there are rolling your eyes right now. I'm not keeping a food journal. It's a waste of time. Forget it. Well, I will just say this. Keep a food journal for just 1 week, because it is unbelievable the things that you put in your mouth that you forget that you put there. So those 2 cookies, that little bag of chips, all these things add up in the course of a day. I also recommend MyFitnessPal. You can get it as an app on your smartphone, or you can go online to www.myfitnesspal.com. I personally use it, and I find that it's a really great tool for me. So when you first get started, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions: your height, your weight, your goal, all of these sorts of things. It will give you the estimated amount of calories that you should have in a day. And you know what? Don't take it as law. It's just a guideline. But it's great for you to be able to see what you're using every day, what you're eating every day. You put in how much exercise that you're doing every day as well, and it takes the exercise calories off the food calories. You input your foods in there. It has like a whole diary of foods, and if the particular food that you are eating is not in there, you just input the data the best you can. If you have a box or a can with the nutrition facts label on it, you input that information. If not, you just use something in the inventory there, which is a close enough best guess. And it's really, really great to see your habits as you're going through the day. You can see the percentage of carbs that you're having for the day, the percentage of fats you're having for the day, the percentage of protein that you're having for the day. It's really good. It breaks everything down for you. I highly recommend this app. And it's free, so that's even better. Now, the big question is, do you pay attention to your portion sizes? Because I think this is one of the biggest mistakes that most people make. Portion sizes are overrated, and especially if you're in the US, a regular portion size is more like 4 or 5 portion sizes. So it's really important to learn what a regular portion size should be. So your thumb is equivalent to about 2 tablespoons, or 30 milliliters, or 1 fluid ounce, or 28 grams or 1 serving of peanut butter. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's what it is. The palm of your hand is the measurement that you should use, which gives you 3 ounces of meat, fish, or poultry, and is also 3 tablespoons of nuts. Now the size of your fist, that's equal to 1 cup or 2 servings of cooked vegetables or pasta. So these are some really great guidelines, and definitely you should write this down. Make sure you're taking lots of notes because this stuff is really, really important.
Monique, can I cut in there for 1 second?
Absolutely.
So as she said at the beginning, there is a handout that's on the Facebook event page, and if you guys haven't printed it, go ahead and print that out and try to fill in those blank spots on the handout. Sorry. All right, thank you, Monique.
All right, thank you, Travis. And if anybody didn't get the handout or they can't find it at the Facebook page, you can send me an email later on, and I'll give you my email address, and I can certainly make sure that you get it as well. So I just want to ask, what have you learned from this part of the presentation? And is there anything in here that you feel that you can apply in your life right now as of today? Anybody?
We do have one guest on right now. I see Melissa on here, so I'm gonna pick on Melissa. Hold on 1 second. Melissa, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hold on 1 second.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can actually hear you. You're good to go.
Hi.
So
Hey,
Hi, Melissa.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good.
Excellent.
So Travis, you're picking on me, I guess.
Yes. What have you? Well, we have a few people on here, so I wanna know what you've learned so far.
You know, it's funny because I make a lot of protein shakes, so I try to get the 5 to 6 meals per day, and I usually do a protein shake in the morning. I actually did not know the serving size for peanut butter, so that was like kind of a bit of a awakening. I think I almost tripled my dosage of what I'm supposed to be consuming for peanut butter. So my first meal of the day might completely be over my calorie intake that I should be taking.
Mm-hmm.
That's some good information. I definitely know, with being active, you tend to want to eat more. You feel like you're allowed to eat more, but you still have to definitely stick to those portion sizes that were given there.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And that's the thing. When I'm saying, like, most people don't realize their portion sizes, it's really true. Another little tip that I will give is that instead of having your dinner on, oh, I can't change my screen so that you can see me, but if instead of having your dinner on a full-sized plate, get yourself a little side saucer and put your meal on that. Because what happens is when you finish eating that little plate of food, because the plate is empty, your mind is thinking, oh, I'm full. Whereas if you get yourself the regular big size serving plate and you fill that thing up, even if you're full before you finish that plate, you still want to eat everything that's left on that plate. Because I don't know about you, but growing up, my parents told me you'll always have to finish what's put on your plate. So that's one of those psychological things that you have to overcome. And I think it's a really great tip because honestly, I do it myself and it makes a huge difference, like really huge. So
it's actually a really good idea.
Mm-hmm. So just to give you that little tidbit of info.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, exactly. So now the next thing is to lift more weights. And I'm telling you, I know how you feel. I was once there. I always said I'm never going to lift weights. I don't want to get muscular. But this is the thing. The two biggest issues that occur when you're trying to lose weight are you think that the weight is going to keep adding on or that you're going to have difficulty actually reaching your ideal weight. And these are two things that you really have to overcome. Because to maximize fat loss, there actually needs to be an increase in lean muscle mass and in your calorie burn. So this is going to help to promote fat loss, and it's really important in long-term weight management. You have to understand that 5 pounds of muscle and 5 pounds of fat actually weigh the same. However, lean muscle mass actually takes up less space, and that's what you want. In order to get the lean muscle mass, though, you've got to start lifting the weights. And what this is going to do, it's going to help your metabolism stay higher for longer. And even after a workout, you're still going to be burning more calories, because the more muscle that you have, it makes everyday tasks easier, but you also burn more calories while doing these activities. So anything like carrying your groceries or walking up the stairs, anything like that, you'll be burning extra calories. And the added muscle mass is also going to help to improve the shape and the tone of your body. It's also recommended that you exercise a minimum of 30 minutes 3 times a week in order to see results. And I can tell you that you definitely will see results, and you'll see them within a minimum of 4 weeks. So if you've never exercised before, or if you're not sure what exercises to do or how to do them, definitely stick with these guidelines, 30 minutes 3 times a week. If you're a little bit more of a seasoned exerciser, then for sure do 5-6 days a week, whatever suits your fancy. But definitely, if you've never exercised before, I would recommend that you go and see your family physician before you start any exercise program whatsoever, because they are going to know your personal health history the best. And if you have any issues that you need to be aware of or look out for, then for sure they can lead you in the right direction. I would also recommend that you regularly take measurements and before and after pictures so that you can see the monthly changes that are happening to your body. So if you're doing the measurements or you're doing the weighing in, I would do it every other week or once a month. It's really important because I know with me, sometimes I lose weight or I lose inches, but I don't feel like it, or I don't feel as if I look like it. But once you get that measuring tape out, and whether it's 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, 3/4 of an inch, an entire inch, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is that is leading you in the right direction and is getting you towards the goal that you want, it's really, really important to see those changes regularly, and it's going to keep you motivated. You're going to feel better about yourself, and you're going to like what you see in the mirror. So that's just a little basis about exercise. I don't want to get too much into that right now because I know that we don't have a lot of time here together. But I just want to ask again, what have you learned from this part of the presentation, and is there anything in here that you can apply tomorrow? Ooh, there we go.
All right, Monique.
Yeah.
We do have a quiet crowd going on here. I'm not seeing any questions, but however, I don't know, Melissa, did you want to get in on that, or did you want me to get on that, or how would you want?
I noticed that Monique made the suggestion of using, measurements and things like that, and you didn't mention the scale. Is that something that you would recommend for people to do, like getting on a scale and looking to see what their actual weight number is?
I will say this, when you start to lose weight and you begin to build the muscle, you got to remember that you have the fat and the muscle thing playing against each other. So you may be losing fat, but you're also gaining muscle, and because of that, you may not actually see the numbers on the scale go down initially, and that can deter some people. Whereas the inches, you will always see those go down. So yeah, I don't have a problem if you want to weigh on the scale, but don't take the scale to heart. Honestly, your measurements and your before and after pictures, I think that's what you should focus on the most.
Oh,
Awesome,
amazing.
Monique.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. Thank you. That was awesome.
Monique, I also want to say I like the point that you made about the more muscle you have and how many calories it burns. I think it's really important to know that. I know a lot of ladies shy away from lifting weights and whatnot, and I think if they understand that they have more muscle in their body, then you become a fat burning machine, right? So I think that was a huge point.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely right. So if you start to exercise on a regular basis, and I'm talking even if you just start walking to begin with, if you're so afraid of weights, just start walking. Just start to get that fat burning off your body, and then slowly get into the weightlifting. And I'm not saying you have to go to the gym and weightlift like a bodybuilder, because most women are intimidated by going to the gym, and that's okay. You can start by doing some body weight exercises like Pilates, or you can do yoga. Those are, because they're body weight exercises, you're still using your own muscle mass. Your own body weight, which will still help to build your muscle mass and help you to tone at the same time. But eventually you do want to get some light hand weights. I don't even care if it's just 5 pounds, and just start using those. Because believe me, muscle tone looks very nice. Much better than flabby arms, right? So that's what I would recommend.
Awesome.
Okay. Perfect. Now, the big thing that most people don't understand is you actually need to change your belief system. Because the thing is this, most people think that food causes them to be overweight, and that's not true. It's not the food that causes you to be overweight, it's your thoughts that do. So if you feel as if you're constantly trying to lose weight, but the results never seem to be permanent, that's because there's something going on inside your brain that you're not aware of, that's running unconsciously under the surface, and you need to figure out what that is so you can move past it and get to the next point, because you need to be able to reprogram your mind in order to stop this self-abuse and increase your motivation, your commitment, and your accountability. Because being overweight is actually not the problem. It's the solution to family abuse, stress, a dead-end job, trauma, bad relationships, sadness, dehydration, sleep deprivation. It causes it's from so many other issues. And you have to understand that your body actually protects you with fat. And so in order to get over that, you need to be able to create a connection between your mind and your body. Because it probably took you a lifetime to accumulate all of your fattening habits, and you don't even know how they started or why they started. And our routine actually produces the results we get. So how does the saying go? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get a different result. So you have to train your brain to get you out of the old habits of behavior that aren't serving you so that you can set new ones. And in order to do that, you need to get to the root of the problem, and you need to understand the difference between your conscious and your unconscious mind. Now, some people also call it the subconscious mind, so just so you're aware of that as well. But I just want to go through what we call the mind model. So 10% of your mind is actually your conscious mind. This is what analyzes, it thinks, and it plans, and it's also your short-term memory. The rest of the 9% of your mind is your subconscious mind or your unconscious mind. And this is what holds your long-term memory, your emotions and feelings, your habit patterns, your relationship patterns, your addictions, involuntary bodily functions, creativity, developmental stages, spiritual connection, and intuition. So let me explain this so that you will understand it a little bit more clearly. You know, you go to work every day, you take the same route every day, and some days you probably come home, you get into your driveway and you think, oh, that was a pretty quick drive home, or, oh, I don't even remember getting here. And that's because your underlying patterns, your habits, they already know which way you take to get home every day. So this is something that you will do unconsciously. You don't think about it. It basically just happens, and that's how you get home. And the same thing happens when you're struggling to figure out why you want to keep eating the cookies or the cakes or whatever your guilty pleasure is. You need to figure out what's underlying in your unconscious mind so that you can overcome that, so that you can overcome this unconscious eating and get the results that you want. So in order for you to change, you need to understand the three requisites for change. So the first thing is that you need to clean up your past patterns, such as negative emotions and limiting decisions. And you may think that you don't have any, but trust me, you do. You also need to focus on what you want and not on what you don't want. That's really, really key. Now, the biggest thing, though, is that you need to dedicate your resources of time, money, and energy towards what you want. And the biggest thing is you need to take action, because without action, there are no results. So, as far as strategies go, getting to a problem that is key. You need to begin to use new resources that will create new habits and new behaviors. So you have to think of food as a means to satisfy hunger and not as a means to relieve stress or negative emotions or your limiting decisions or whatever the case may be. That's really, really important. So again, what have you learned from this part of the presentation, and what can you apply today to get you started on the right track?
All right. You guys can hear me good?
I can hear you perfectly.
I want to chime in on this one. I think what I take away from this is, or what I got from this last section is the thoughts part. When I was listening to you, I was just like, it's so true. Like, what's going on in your daily life? You know, it may be family issues, it could be stress, it could be abuse, so many different things, and I think that all has a effect on your weight. And again, just an awesome point. Did you want to elaborate on it a little bit more? Or?
Yeah, I think what happens is we all get stuck. Really, all of us get stuck. And I think that it is important for you to realize that this isn't just happening to you, it happens to all of us. And so the underlying issues that are happening in your own life, you can't verbalize them, you don't know what they are, you don't know what's causing it, and it would take somebody like me to help to get to the root of the problem, to figure out what that experience was that has led you to this particular point in your life. Because believe it or not, most of our habits and behaviors are formed by the time that we're somewhere between the ages of 5 to 7 years old. So you have to go back that far, and most of the time consciously you can't even realize what it is. You have to go unconsciously, which is a whole other story and we don't have time for today. But it's really, really important to get to the meat and to get to the trigger, shall we say. So you can try and lose weight, and you probably will lose weight, but what caused you to gain the weight in the first place is still hidden in your unconscious mind and will eventually creep back up and will eventually start to sabotage you, and you will start that self-abuse again of the overeating. Sometimes that comes with depression, all of these other things that go along with it. And it's like I said, you really do have to think about food as nourishment instead of as a reward or as something to help you feel better when you're feeling down. And I know it's easy to say, and it's very difficult to do, but it's really something that in the long run, if you want to be successful at having the body that you want and being healthy, it's really key to try and figure out what those things are and to get the new patterns, the new habits, and new behaviors, and start using those new strategies.
Amazing. And Melissa, did you have any thoughts on that last section there as well?
You know, it's funny, as Monique was talking, I kept thinking back to the TV show Biggest Loser, because I know a lot of people watch that show and they kind of relate to it. And you see a lot of the contestants really trying hard to lose this weight, but when you really look at the show, it's more of the journey of trying to figure out that trigger that Monique's specifically talking about. And a lot of the people tend not to lose the weight until, you know, the trainers that are on the show tend to find what that turning point was in the person's life or that trigger point. So yeah, it's like it's a little bit relatable. I can see, exactly what Monique's talking about, and the trainers, they only show you part of it on the show, little bits and pieces of what they actually have to do. But I'm sure Monique has to go into a lot more detail to really figure out what that is, and for the the average person, it's hard to figure that out on your own, number one, but number two, sometimes you might not want to figure it out, because you're happy with just eating your foods, and you might want to lose weight, but you're not unhappy enough to make a change about it. So that's what I took away. The first thing I thought about is just that relatability to what you see on TV, trying to finding what that root problem is, and basically the weight will just fall off at that point. So that's a very important point for sure.
Yeah, and that is a great point that you just made right there, Melissa, because I don't know how many people out there have watched The Biggest Loser, and I know that they tell you that the way that they do it on the show, not everybody can do it that way. I mean, these people work out 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, and they have nutritionists, they have the doctors there, they have all of that. But really, when you go back and when they do the shows where they bring back the people who have actually lost weight through the show, many of them have actually not gained all of their weight back. Well, some of them have, but a lot of them, the weight has started to creep up again. So yeah, it's great that they go through the process. They understand what it's like to get fit and healthy and reach their goal weight, whatever their goal is. But there's still something that they didn't figure out as they were going through the process, which is why the weight is starting to come back on. And that's really something that you need to be made aware of as well. It's really it's great to lose weight. And it's great to feel good about yourself, but you also have to remember too, another point that Melissa made that I want to talk about is that you can't lose weight because somebody else wants you to lose weight. You have to lose weight because you are ready. You have to want to lose weight for you. Nobody else can make you do that. So you can't do it for your husband. You can't do it for your mother. You can't do it for your father. You have to do it for you. So you have to figure out why you want to do it. Is it because, you can't run around with your kids right now and play with them and you want to be able to do that? Is it because you want to be able to watch your kids graduate from high school? You want to see them get married? Whatever it is for you, then that's what needs to be your motivating force. It can't be because somebody else wants you to do it for them. And I think that's really important to stress as well.
Amazing, Monique. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. All right. You can continue. I can actually finally see your face on the screen. So
it never came back somehow. It's exciting.
Yeah, it never. So I can actually see your face on the screen. Awesome. All right, you can continue. You're good.
All right, great. Thank you. All right. Now, oops, I just lost things here. Give me 1 second. There we go. Oh, jeez. There we go. All right. So the question that you might be asking is, okay, that's great. That was a lot of really good information. I actually did learn something. I wrote lots of copious notes, and I'm going to start whatever the one thing is tomorrow that I learned that I know I can do. But what do I do now? So I am actually going to invite you to sign up for my webinar, Kickstart for Weight Loss, 3 Massive Mistakes Professional Women Make That Keep Them Overweight, Exhausted, and Stuck on the Diet Treadmill. It is going to be happening on Monday, June the 23rd at 7 p.m. and it will be another Google Hangout. I do have the link down there, and actually I'm going to try and put it in the chat box. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but if you can't get the link, or if you can't write it down fast enough, then just send me an email again and I'll make sure to get that link to you for sure. Because I will be going into a little bit more detail of some of the things that I kind of glossed over a little bit today, and I want to make sure that I do also let you know that I'm going to be offering something very cool on that webinar as well. And I also did tell you that by coming you're going to get a free gift. So you're going to get a copy of my ebook. It's called 5 Ways to Burn More Body Fat. And you can get this by going to my website at www.moniquebartlett.com. And so just go to my website. You'll see it in the right-hand corner. Just click on it, input your information. It will shoot you the ebook. And just make sure it's going to ask you to verify your email address or something silly like that it's going to say. So just make sure you do that. Otherwise, you won't get the ebook. And also, I want to make sure that you have my contact information. So any way that is easiest for you to get a hold of me, feel free. I'm giving you as much information as I can right here. So I have my 800 number, which is 1-866-680-1266. Or if you're in the Greater Toronto area, I can be reached at 647-955-5646. I seem to have a thing with sixes, I just realized. You can go over to my website, www.moniquebartlett.com, and fill in the contact form there as well, which is easy. Or you can also send me an email at monique@moniquebartlett.com. And if you have not joined me on Facebook yet, please head over to Facebook, to my Facebook fan page, and you can find me at Monique Bartlett Author. And I would love to hear feedback of what you actually thought about this presentation today. So please go over there, like my page. And again, I just want to make sure, feel free to go to my website, grab a copy of my ebook for sure. It'll go over some basic things that we talked about today and give you a little bit more information. And again, I also want to say make sure you go to the link so that you can register for my webinar that's going to be next Monday, June 23rd at 7 p.m. So Kickstart for Weight Loss, 3 massive mistakes professional women make that keep them overweight, exhausted, and stuck on the diet treadmill. I would love to see you again next Monday. And that is all there is for me. So I will throw this back to Travis.
All right, Monique. That was a awesome hangout presentation rather, and I think I'm gonna just quickly I'm gonna go through some of the points that you're making on the presentation real quick. I'll just go over each section and I'll take away a point from each if that's okay with you. What do you think?
Awesome. That's great.
All right, so let me just look at my notes here. So from your Eat for Your Lifestyle section, one of the main things I got was if you're active, you'll need more protein and carbs, correct?
Correct, absolutely.
All right. Now your hand portion sizes, it was quite big, but I guess I'm gonna take one part of it. So I think the one that kind of stood out to me was the thumb. So the thumb is equivalent to 2 teaspoons, 30 milliliters, 1 food ounce, 20 grams, 1 serving of peanut butter, which is huge. So that's one I got from there. Now, from the lift more weight section, I have the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn. What do you think? Gotcha. And change your belief section, belief system. That's which was your last section.
Yeah.
I got food doesn't cause you to be overweight. Your thoughts do.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
So those are some of the points I got. I'm pretty sure Melissa got some points, and whoever else is watching this live has got more points. Again, I just want to thank you for being on this hangout with me, out of your obviously your precious time. And I just want to let you have. I want not only Melissa to have some closing thoughts. I want you to take some time to have some closing thoughts. And the only thing I want to say is, yeah, I've known this lady for quite a bit of time, and she's awesome, and she definitely knows what she's doing. So with that said, I want to pass it on to Melissa, then on to Monique.
Great.
Awesome. Wow. You know, for myself, I am also a health professional, but you know, you still always learn, and that's why I love to do these types of things, because there's a lot of collaboration and a lot of learning that happens, and you never know where you're going to learn from. So Monique, this was amazing. Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to pass this on to some of my clients and some other people's for them to jump on, because again, something that might not relate to them when I say it might relate when someone else also says the exact same thing. So I do have friends and family that definitely need to be on this Google Hangout on June 23rd. And I definitely have to decrease my peanut butter portion size and my protein. So
still have the protein with your breakfast. It's still important, but yeah, just decrease the portion sizes for sure. Because that's actually one thing that I didn't mention. You got to make sure that you do have single meal for sure, because the protein is the building block for your lean muscle mass. So it's really important to get that at every meal as well. So thank you for
absolutely. But thank you so much, and I'm just going to leave the floor for you.
All right, thanks, Val. So yeah, I also want to thank everybody else for taking precious time out of their schedule this evening to come and join me and Travis. And I hope that you actually did learn something, even if it's one thing. I mean, that's huge. And even if there's only one thing that you learned that you want to be able to do to change one of your habits tomorrow, please do that. And I would love to hear about what you are changing. So send me a message, send me a Facebook, whatever it is that's more comfortable for you. I'd love to hear. Definitely go get my ebook. And definitely come to my Hangout on Monday. There's going to be some more new information for you to learn. And we'll probably do a little bit of a refresher of some of the stuff that you've learned already, because sometimes you hear it once and, like Melissa says, it doesn't quite sink in. So, you know, you hear it a few times and, you know, it gets to be a little bit more of a habit as well. And, yeah, definitely feel free to contact me. And I look forward to all of you reaching your goals, whatever they may be. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I really appreciate. I know we only had a little bit of time, and you know we all lead busy lives. So thanks again for coming out, and hope to see you next Monday. And thank you very much, Travis, for hosting this Hangout for me.
No, thank you very much, Monique. And guys, look up for more of these Hangouts. We're gonna have some more professionals coming up on here. I would love to have you again, Monique. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
All right, bye.
Bye.